In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to add vintage stamp texture to a vector illustration. With this illustration that we've got set up here, we have separated all the layers into the colours to make it easy to copy and paste into the vintage stamp file. So the first thing to do is to make sure that your layers, when you're importing all the layers, that they're going to overlap each other evenly. So to do that, what we're first going to do is select all of our elements here and just group them for the time being. Click edit and copy. I'm going to ungroup them so they go back onto their layers. Go into Photoshop and we're just going to go into our first layer here, the edge of stamp, double click on that smart layer and we come in here and we're just going to paste our illustration in as a whole for now and just scale it down a wee bit so it fits within the frame nicely. And we're just going to make sure that's roughly centered. And then we've got that element in there now as our kind of placeholder, so we know where to, because we're going to import each colour and save as a separate layer, so when it comes to building them up together at the end, they are all in the exact same spot. So we're just going to go back to Illustrator and then I'm just going to first I'm going to import the brown tree trunks. I'm just going to lock all the other layers, brown tree trunks and the door and the chimney. So then I'm going to go edit, copy. Sorry, actually before that I'm going to change these all to black. So you could import them as brown, but it will lessen the effect of the vintage stamp texture. So we want to take them all to black and then we're going to, okay, once we've made our all the fill black, we're going to click to edit copy and then we're going to click back in Photoshop and then we're going to go edit and paste smart object and you'll see all our tree trunks and doors and stuff here have come in and we're just going to resize them so they're roughly the same as this placeholder we've put in behind. And we do that. So now we've got them in, we're just going to turn off our placeholder and we're going to hit save for the smart layer. And then once that's done its thing, we're going to go back up here and you'll see that our tree trunks have been placed in. Now it's looking, we're on ink pad light. We're just going to turn I might just leave that on for the moment. Now we're just going to go in here and this is where we adjust our colour. So we're going to click on this, go back to Photoshop, edit, undo. So we've got and then get our fill colour for brown. And we're going to go back into Photoshop, paste that hex code back in, and we're done here. Now these have got a little bit, for the vintage stamp texture, it adds a little bit of a blur to get that kind of rough deckled edge on a stamp. So what we're just going to do, I'll just bring this over, is go into our artwork edge adjustments, and we're just going to see by turning off some of the smart filters, you can in fact just take them down a bit. So see, turning off the Gauss on blur has given us a little bit more of the kind of weight we're looking at for this. You can also double click on that and just take it down a little bit so it's not as prominent. And then if we click that, you'll see it's just a little bit less compared to what it was, quite a bit less actually. So once you're happy with that, making those slight adjustments, what you want to do now is turn off your background layer. Okay, so we want to save as a transparent PNG, so what we're going to do is save the copy, and we're going to go to a folder we've saved On our desktop for the PNGs, going to hit PNG, and then we're going to click save. I'm just going to change the file name as illustration tree trunks. Done. Okay, so now we've done that part, we're going to go back to our smart layer, turn that off, turn our placeholder back on. Now we're going to go into Illustrator, and we're going to lock that our tree trunk or brown layer, and then we're going to unlock the green layer. So we're going to select all our green trees here, and then we're going to just convert them to black. Another way to do it in Photoshop, if you don't want to convert, is to just go click copy, go into Photoshop. We're going to go edit, paste, smart object. Sometimes what I do when it's a similar colour is I just change these ones to multiply, so I can drag and drop them or scale them to the right place. And change that to normal, and then what we have to do, I'm just going to tree tops. I'm just going to rasterize that, turn off that layer, and then what we can do is we can add a solid color of black, and then all we need to do is just go create clipping mask, and that makes them black, so it will work when you import it back into Vintage Stamp. So if I save this with it black, and then we go back in here, and because we've got brown colour set as our on here, we just want to change that to our green. Go back into Illustrator, copy and paste our hex code. Right, now from here we will again save a copy. We want to save that in our PNGs, and we're going to call this, change to PNG, call this green tree tops. Okay, and now I'm just going to follow the process for the rest of our elements on here. Again, same thing. Obviously with this blue element, it's just a tiny wee one that's going to be on the Photoshop, but we just need to make sure that it's in the same place. And then it's just the red parts of the house. So I'll just do that quickly, but basically it follows the same process as what we've done with the trees here. We've got our layers done in Photoshop. What we're going to do is combine them all in, you could either use Illustrator or InDesign. I tend to find InDesign a bit better for placing elements like that. It's a bit easier with reshaping the boxes rather than having to create clipping masks. So I tend to find InDesign just a bit more user-friendly in instances like this. So here I am, I've just created a document sort of based off the size that I created the Photoshop file. First I'm going to place in, or Command D, I'm going to find, so in my PNG folders I've got all my elements here. So first I'm going to import the green treetops. I'm going to place them in, and then I'm just going to resize to fit this window. Okay, now I'm going to just duplicate that layer, and then I'm going to Command D again, and should be able to do the tree trunks. And that's basically, if I shift this back into place, they should all be in the right spot. And then I'm going to follow with the rest of the elements, the house again. What you can do, because this one's condensed to just this corner, I just change the frame since there's no other red elements, so I'm not cutting them off, whereas if it was like the brown, yeah, you would be. And then lastly, I'm going to do the window, and that is fairly easy to put in place. And I'm just going to condense that window down. So I've layered all the elements on top, and you'll see that they all fit perfectly in place because we had that placeholder to measure it by. Sometimes what I tend to do is, so with these tree trunks sitting over above, I'll just go to my layers and my transparency effects, and I will change this to a multiply, so we've got that kind of overlap look. And then same with, I'm just going to put a bit of multiply on here, and then also with my window. And you can obviously, you can bring the layers, certain layers to the front depending what you want to be above, but I find that's it's quite a nice way, you get that overlap edge, which gives that sort of vintage appeal. You can also just tweak like the position if you want to get a bit more of that effect going on, especially with these smaller bits and pieces. And yeah, so once you're done, you've got a nice sort of grungy style illustration, made pretty easy. You can save as or export, save your copy as like a JPEG or a PDF if you want to take it back into Photoshop and tweak around. You can also, because these are PNGs, like if you wanted to add for this one, I'd add like a slight off-white texture, maybe. Which could be quite nice, and because they're all transparent, because the layers are transparent, you're not going to get that, these images are all fine. Yeah, it's a quick way to make a textured illustration using vector elements. Very simple, or with just the one with our vintage stamp effect.